Some breaking news for snowbirds. Florida didn't just get hotter, it got open carry hotter. The US is now openly threatening visa action over what foreigners post online. Meanwhile, 150 Canadians have landed in ICE custody this year. And Florida keeps bragging about record tourism. Cute.
Here's the real picture. Vegas is discounting midweek like it's a Boxing Day sale. International visitors to the US are sliding and Canadian snowbirds are choosing anywhere but chaos. Stick with us. By the end, you'll know where to winter warmer, cheaper, and with zero policy whiplash.
So Florida's press releases say record 34.4 million visitors in Q2. Sounds huge, right? But look under the hood. Domestic visitors are doing all of the heavy lifting. Canadians are barely 2% of that pie.
On the ground, Florida is seeing steep drop in Canadian guests and revenue. If you're a snowbird, that's your sign. The Canadian chairs at the pool are empty on purpose.
And Vegas? Well, visitor volume fell double digits this summer. Occupancy and room rates softened. Translation? Deals, especially midweek because demand isn't keeping up with the neon.
Nationally, the US is the outlier. Global tourism is rebounding everywhere, but America is staring at a multi-billion-dollar drop in foreign visitor spending this year alone. Headlines can scream records while the cash register costs. So how can both sides be true?
Oh, easy. Different slices. Domestic crowds can pad a headline at theme parks, while international travelers like Canadians are the missing line on the chart.
Bottom line, if the seats are cheap, the demand ain't deep. Canadians are opting out, and that's showing up in airport traffic and border crossings.
Here's the billboard math. The United States is the only country the World Travel and Tourism Council says will see foreign visitor spending fall in 2025. About $12.5 billion missing.
MoneyWise goes even further. They peg the broader hit at up to $29 billion if nothing changes. And the quote from the WTTC chief saying other nations are rolling out the welcome mat while the United States is putting up the closed sign.
Meanwhile, at home here, Canadian tourism is up, as people choose to spend inside Canada this summer. The Monaris and Angus Reid survey found that about 26% changed, postponed, or canceled US trips. Of those who changed plans, 30% went to other provinces and 44% stayed within their own province.
Translation: we didn't stop traveling, we just stopped volunteering for border stress. Canadian hotels and restaurants got the business. Congratulations, Canada! This year, 150 Canadians, including 2 toddlers, have landed in ICE detention. 1 child was held for 51 days. That's not oops paperwork. That's families sleeping with the lights on.
And here's the reality if you're flagged at a port of entry. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection can A, let you withdraw your application for admission and send you home the same day. And if they let you withdraw your application, you better not try to re-enter the next day, because that can trigger an expedited removal, which comes with a 5-year ban from the US. And remember, none of this happens in an airport lounge. You can be transported to county jails or ICE facilities, your phones can be restricted, visits limited, and you may be moved far from the airport that you arrived at.
If you're denied entry, your non-refundable hotels, cruise, or home rentals usually stay that way. Non-refundable. Standard travel insurance rarely covers inadmissible at the border.
There have been reports from Canadians with long-term U.S. ties who were still detained for days while paperwork was reviewed. Cold cells, limited calls, long transfers, that is the stress test we're talking about.
And let's talk about the policy climate. After recent political violence, the U.S. State Department has told consular officers to take action against foreigners who praise or make light of violent events online. They've even asked the public to report people.
Wow. Now, here's the part that should worry ordinary critics. On paper, the rule targets praising killing, which everyone rejects. But in practice, online platforms and strangers often don't separate legitimate, harsh criticism from actual praise of violence.
Exactly. If you call out political rhetoric online, someone who disagrees with you can flag your post. Suddenly it becomes a mess of screenshots and arguments, and your vacation turns into you trying to explain your intent to a border officer.
And this is on top of the existing scrutiny. The US already asked for 5 years of social media handles on some visa forms, and Customs and Border Patrol does search phones at the border. Actually, they ran about 47,000 device searches last year alone. And with added scrutiny, those numbers are expected to keep on rising.
Now let's talk about Florida, where many snowbirds tend to land. A state appeals court just struck down the open carry ban. Florida already had permitless concealed carry. Now, expect more guns visible in daily life. In stores, piers, boardwalks. If your winter vibe is sunsets and a low heart rates, that's a totally different type of climate.
Yep. And let's talk about the health rules. The state is moving to end school vaccine mandates for several diseases within 90 days, with talk of going even further later. So regardless of your stance, fewer mandates usually means more outbreaks and more disruptions. Seniors hear that and think, less pickleball and more hospital hallways.
Bottom line, Canadians are opting out because the risk profile changed. Detention headlines, social media scrutiny, visible firearms, and shakier public health rules. If you still go, make sure to pack documents, proof of funds, and plans. Plus, create a plan B for your bookings. Or why not pick a place that welcomes you, feeds you, and lets you have a nap by 3? Our rule of thumb: pick places that welcome Canadians. Keep the rules consistent and leave the legal dictionary at home.
Mexico first, because it is the easiest. Think Yucatan, Loreto, La Paz, Oaxaca. Officers can grant stays for up to 180 days. Just bring proof of funds, a return plan, and your apartment booking. You get direct flights, proper coffee, and clinics that actually pick up the phone. Book a month and then extend when you're happy.
Let's go to Europe next. Portugal and Spain with a side of Greece. Schengen rules give you 90 days inside any 180-day window. But remember, starting October 12th, the entry and exit system adds fingerprints at the border. So plan a few extra minutes at the kiosk. The trade-off is mild winters, walkable towns, and grandmas who insist you have seconds.
And then there's Central America. This is the test drive crowd. Costa Rica, Panama, Belize. Easy longer stays if you follow each of the country's rules. Microclimates for mood, from pool weather to nap weather, and plenty of Canadians already on the patio to swap tips with. Do 30 days before you lock in a 3-month lease.
Farther afield is where your spreadsheet starts purring. Ecuador, Vietnam, Thailand. Most stays run 60 to 90 days depending on the country, and rent drops. Food gets fantastic, and the loudest argument on the beach is, where do you get the best mangoes?
Or you can stay at home and win the Peace Prize. Vancouver Island, the Okanagan, the Niagara Bench. No exchange rate drama, winter milder than you think, spas and wineries open, and absolutely zero border paperwork. And speaking of travel, we have a quick programming note for you. We split our YouTube channels so that you can find what you want faster. All of our travel now lives on the Planet D Travel. We're publishing daily with updated travel guides for 2025. If you want travel ideas, let us know and we'll put your destination on our list.
The Planet D Travel channel is where we talk travel all the time. Subscribe to both so you don't miss a trip or a take. We've been to 130 countries, so I think we know what we're talking about.
And if this helped you dodge a winter headache, tap like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications.
And if you want, check out the A-Team. That's our channel membership that keeps this work independent. Or you can grab our free Substack for weekly wrap-ups.
And let us know in the comments where you'll be spending winter next. Elbows up, Canada. See you in the sunshine.